always had that something in you where you wanted to strive for better. So describe for me, what has your journey been like in life?
The journey it's been very hard because, I was on public assistance, so it was like, at first it was a boundary there. Anybody knows about public assistance, they don't want you to go so far or they're going to cut it off.
When you describe yourself now, tell me, who's Freddie Stevenson, the man that you are now?
A few years ago, I remember in college, they would always have speakers come in and ask us who we are. I wouldn't have been able to answer the question. It probably would have had something to do with football. I'm a fullback for Florida State. I want to play in the NFL. But now it's just simple. I'm Freddie Stevenson, man of purpose.
This is a passion of mine. The whole premise behind the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast is to spotlight the fact that it is now time for you to get your dope comeback story.
Hey, say Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Say Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. Jazzie Conversations with
Jazz. Every Monday, I call people into a studio, and we dig into their comeback stories, because I know that we see people in their glory and we see people when they're on top, when they can have that silver lining to them, but we all go through some things, right? We all go through some things, and I think once we're real with people and we let people know the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, it only makes us human and it connects one of us.
So I just want to know, what would be your advice to someone who is looking to start their own podcast?
First and foremost, let me back up. Find your voice. What are you going to talk about? Is it something that people want to listen to? How long will your podcast be? What's going to be the consistency of your podcast? Are you going to do it like weekly, daily? Are you going to do it monthly? So once you find that, because that's going to indicate if somebody wants to listen to your podcast or not. I do know how I'm doing it. I'm doing it with God. I'm doing it because this is a passion of mine. And when you are passionate about something, you're not going to stop. So it really it comes down to how bad do you want it. It definitely comes down to how bad do you want it. Listen, happy Monday, Jazzie crew. You are in tune to the award-winning podcast, the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast. We are on episode 159. Can you believe that we've almost hit the 4-year mark? Well, we definitely have. And I have a celebration for you. It's our annual get together, Jazzie crew. So tickets will be going on sale very, very soon for my 4-year podcast anniversary live show. Definitely will be disclosing our location, our guests, all of the things that bring you back each and every year. You know that this podcast celebrates the power of the comeback. For over 2 decades, I have been saying why I feel that you can come back from anything. I know that you can come back from anything with God, the right resources, using those resources effectively, and your willingness to do the necessary work. So this is a fantastic Monday. You know that Monday is my favorite day of the week because it is a recalibration period for me. It's a new day. It's a new week. It's a new month. We are crushing new goals and we are having new victories. So before we get started with this podcast episode, I need for you to make sure that you are subscribing on my YouTube channel. It is very simple. All you have to do is log on to YouTube. That's at Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. That's it on all social media platforms. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and also go ahead and tap that notifications bell that is in the top right corner of your screen when you get to YouTube, because we are broadcasting live right now on YouTube and on both of my Facebook channels. Make sure you are also a part of my Jazzie crew by making sure that you are following me on your favorite podcast platform. And that's it. That's how you become a member of my Jazzy crew. You're welcome. All goal diggers are welcome. That's GOAL diggers are definitely welcome. I also want to give a shameless plug because, as you know, I don't only host this podcast, but I am also an event host. And so, if you want to jazz up your event, definitely inbox me, or you can call me, and the number to book me to host your events, to moderate your events, etc., to bring the Jazzy Conversations with Jazz podcast to your event to broadcast live. All you have to do is simply shoot me an email, and that is jasmar1050@gmail.com. That is JASMAR1050@gmail.com, or you can give me a call at 863-338-6604. All right, so without further ado, I am going to bring on my special guest because for the month of July, I am spotlighting those individuals who are being very selfless with their time, with their energy, with their resources, and they are running spectacular community-based nonprofits. And so my guest for episode 159 is Mr. Brandon Richard. He is the developer and co-founder of the nonprofit Be Rich Project, Inc. This nonprofit empowers youth who identify primarily as an athlete to explore life beyond sports. They believe there's more than one way to be rich. Their mission is to shape not just better players, but stronger, well-rounded individuals ready to thrive in every arena of life. They help youth find their purpose through passions by making plans to be more than just an athlete. Exposure and awareness are keys to understanding that there is more way, again, to be rich. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you and bring on my special guest, Mr. Brandon Richard. How are you doing today, sir?
Good evening, Jazz. Good evening. I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing phenomenally well. Can I just tell you how dope of a person you are? Do you know that?
Listen, Jazz, if I could just have you with me everywhere I go for these jazzy conversations.
Listen, we can make that happen. I believe we can make anything happen. Listen, if it goes along with the purpose and we're doing good by the community, listen, you're getting ahead, I'm getting ahead. Let's make it happen. I'll be right behind you with my microphone in hand, introducing Mr. Brandon Richard. I promise you, I'll be your theme music.
I love it. Well, thank you, though. In all sincerity, though, thank you for having me here. Was listening to just historically, it's been 4 years for you. So a big salute to you and you bringing this to life and then bringing other people along through your passion. It's wonderful.
Thank you. And I know that anyone who sits down with you, they can innately and immediately see that you have a strong passion, a desire for the work that you are doing with your nonprofit. And I just want to go back. Let's rewind for a second. We've had these conversations as of late, you and I, just on the premise that you never know how your path is going to intertwine with someone else's. You never know when you're going to meet someone again. And I shared with you that the first time that I had ever heard of you was through a Bartow Ford commercial. And I was like, wow, like the things that he's doing. And if you are in Polk County, you don't know about Bartow Ford, where have you been, right? Just where have you been? Right. Like their strategy with marketing is just bananas. And so even if you're not in the market to buy a car, you know about Bartow Ford. You've seen the commercials, you've seen the ads, you probably can recite it. And so I like how you use kind of that same premise with the way that they market into some of the strategies that you use with your nonprofit. And so fast forward a long time, because I knew you were from Winter Haven, which Polk County just gets love from me all day. For from Polk County, it's just like, yeah, we're kindred spirits. Right. And then, so I knew you had some ties with Bartow Ford, but then I got the opportunity to interview you on a panel at Boss Fest that was either 2 or 3 years ago.
That's
I think it may have been 3 years ago that I
Yeah.
had the opportunity to interview you on the stage, on the main stage. And
Right.
I was just like, I was going through pictures today and I found an old picture of you and I at Boss Fest. And it was just like, this is a full circle moment because even through that interview, we have again crossed paths because someone has put you in my path. And I'm just like, this is funny. This is funny
Yeah.
how life works. So I'm glad I was nice to you, which I'm always nice to people.
Well,
I'm glad you
likewise.
were nice to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Likewise. I'm just glad. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad that we share a common passion for kids. But before we dive really, really deep into what you do, your mission, your vision, what you see this nonprofit expanding into, I want to know about you, Brandon. Tell us about you. Tell us about your upbringing. If we were to describe you, what would be a good descriptor in terms of you as a child, as an adolescent in school? Were you the popular kid? Were you the geeky kid? Like, who are you? Who's Brandon Richard?
Man, I'm reserved to a degree. Reserved.
Yeah.
Did my best to get along with everybody, so there wasn't a crowd that I didn't want to be able to find some kind of connection with. I always believe that you can learn something from anybody,
Yeah.
and so that was a really big thing growing up. My parents were always about being humble,
Yes.
being open to other perspectives, and realize that you don't know it all.
Yeah.
So if you're running your mouth a lot, that means that there's a good chance you don't know more stuff than what you're like making it appear as though you do. So learning to listen, treat people how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And so that was a real big thing for me, just from preschool, kindergarten through high school. Just really try to treat people how you would like to be treated, and understand that everybody's on a journey. And so how can you help someone as you're moving through life? That was a big thing for me growing up. Love sports.
Yeah.
So tidbit, I started out though in martial arts.
Awesome.
So I have an older sister who is much prettier, much more easy to look at, much smarter. So I love her to death. She's the reason why I got through school, grade school, middle school, high school, college. We started in Taekwondo, and so we both obtained a first degree black belt very, very early on. And I was really small as a kid, man. I never really was a really big frame individual. So loved football. Mom was not letting me get out there on that gridiron. So Bruce Lee became
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Bruce Leroy. Like, yeah, that was that was it, man. That was it. Which I saw recently that I think The Last Dragon is making like a.
Please don't tell me it's coming back. Is it coming
I thought
back?
I saw something like that online, so it should be fun, like an anniversary type of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you know that his brother passed away?
I did not.
Like in the movie, like his brother passed away, like in real life. And I was, honey, this is a TikTok going down a deep black hole because it's like stars that you didn't know, passed away. And I was like, wait, he could not have passed away. Like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So if they do it, I want to know who they're going to recast for his role. But Bruce Leroy is still looking like Bruce Leroy. So martial arts is it then, keep yourself fit and all of that good stuff. He still looks almost the same.
And I think I really, really can attribute that self-centered, as far as balance, self-discipline, a lot of those things came from going through martial arts.
Yeah.
And so that segue into basketball. At some point in time, I picked up a basketball, and that's what stuck. And so growing up, wanted to be the next Michael Jordan, wanted to be the next Penny Hardaway or Allen Iverson.
Listen, okay, you already got 10 stars. You already got 10 stars. There's a lot of people that don't mention AI. And I'm like, what are y'all? You gotta mention the answer. Like, are y'all kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, this dude was small, but he was dominating the court. Like, come on, now let me bring out my basketball knowledge. Talk about Bubba Chuck right there. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you.
Georgetown, all that good stuff. I'm just saying.
So that was the connection. And once I realized I wasn't going to be 6'6", so definitely that connection with AI, being a smaller frame ball player, but having a huge heart, man, just playing with passion. So that was my journey, man. Like martial arts, and then I got into basketball, and so that's how the journey begins for Be Rich.
I'm gonna ask you a question. When you played basketball, were you a superstar? Were you in the game the majority of the time, or did you spend time on the bench? Like, tell me about that experience in itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, early on, man, I was actually pretty good. I was actually pretty good. I could hold my own. You asked, was I a starter? Was I more of a role player? I was a starter. It consumed me, and I definitely approached it with persistence every day. Like I wanted to get better every day. I had a cousin who was a few months older than I am, who physically was just gifted, just long, lanky, athletic, and so going against him every day was something that pushed me, and just to compete with him. And so by doing that, I was pretty good. I was pretty good, man. Yeah, any team I played on, I definitely would contribute from a starting position. But more or less, I was a pretty good point guard. And so again, I think I took just what I learned from martial arts, from my parents, from trying to make sure I put everybody at their best and finding their strengths and getting them in position to be an asset to the team. Yeah. I really found a way of doing that through the sport. And so I think that's I realized as I got older that that's what made it so tough for me when I couldn't do it, when I could no longer do it athletically. I learned these things by crafting the Be Rich project. Like, okay, man, these things that I was so attached to from a physical standpoint, an athletic standpoint, why does it seem to be so difficult to transition into just, I guess, a non-athletic lifestyle?
Listen, I asked that question. Because I'm a basketball mom now. Right. And you know how people, even now, I'm 45. So even when people tell me stuff like they played a sport, even in college, we tend to look at that like, that was like how long ago? Like, are we still holding on to that victory? But what I realized is I kind of do the same thing because it is a part of you. It's not something that someone can ever take away from you, because not a lot of people get to even play at that level. Not a lot of people get to even play at the high school level and start, etc. Just a little known fact about myself, like I played basketball, but it was a very short-lived career with basketball. But when I say I loved basketball, like that was just my sport. Like I loved watching it on TV. I just loved the sport. And so I only got up to the JV level, and I was only able to play like my first year in high school. Won some awards, so I played point as well, played for Barstow. Wasn't like a superstar or anything like that, but I did have my games, probably averaged between, I don't know, maybe 6 to 12 points a game.
Yeah. Who was your favorite player growing up?
Allen Iverson and Grant Hill.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. But I used to love like your Marcus Camby's and all of that, and Jason Williams, and I loved college. I love college basketball a whole lot. Jason Williams was
you're throwing out some names.
Like, I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, I love me some basketball. Like that's, and I think, so where I'm going with this is, well, my career was short lived just because, health wise, because I was severely anemic, and my doctor made me quit sports until they could regulate what was going on with me. But I just really could not, I didn't have any more energy for it. So it was so heartbreaking because I just knew I didn't even go out for the dance team, which I really wanted to do too. I was like, no, I'm gonna play basketball. And that's what I did. So I love it. And just transitioning from playing it for a short time, but I still love it, still have that IQ for basketball, into becoming an educator.
Right.
This is where I resonate with you, because I have always told people, just looking at different stories of guys that got into the NBA, what they had to do. And yes, sometimes most of the time they put that sport above their academics. They were not just student athlete, they were just athletes, and they were just talented. But I always said, how we teach our boys, how we teach our girls at a young age, that if they come from a certain neighborhood, or if they are just very gifted at a sport, people and parents tend to tell them that this is your way out. Like, you got to make it you got to put in the work. I've interviewed athletes on my show who have gone pro, and I've listened to their regimen, like getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and their parents being engaged. Like, I'm dropping him off on this road and he's running all morning, or I'm making sure he's eating this, or I'm making sure it's just like all of this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? If I could bottle up whatever that is that gives them that tenacity and that will, that desire to want to achieve on the field, on the court, on the mound like that, but education wise, oh my gosh. Like, if I could bottle up whatever that is, whatever that passion is, if it could just translate over into education, I was like, I would be a millionaire. If I knew how to sell that, I would be a complete millionaire, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I get so excited. That's why I got so excited when I got the opportunity to sit with you and you talked about what your program does, because that's major. Like, it's major what you're doing, because I feel like you are on the trajectory of bottling up something that is just like that tenacity, that grit that you have to have in sports. You are translating it into real life. And I was just like, yep, let's talk. Let's converse. Let's converse, because this is a conversation that is needed.
I didn't reckon. Well, I'm glad for this, because we are kindred spirits. And can you share? When were you no longer able to play? You said ninth. Was it
at the beginning? So I finished my 9th grade year, but it was at the beginning. It was actually during the tryouts for my 10th grade year. Like, let me tell you how sad I was. I had already picked out, I wanted to be number 21, but my cousin was already grandfathered into the number 21, because you know how the seniors get to pass their number down to someone. Right. So that senior passed her number down to my cousin, who was like a freshman. Like, this girl was a beast on the court. But I didn't even make it through tryouts. Like, I passed out in the bathroom, like, during the tryout, and I went to the hospital and all of that, and I was never able to come back. So, but thank God I was a straight A student. So I was just like, it's cool.
Well, Jazz, it's I got, like the Spidey tingle, because it's same for me. So, I go through my JV year. Sophomore year, I'm starting varsity. Yeah. So I'm starting point guard for Winter Haven my sophomore year. Yeah. We're playing in an assembly game in the gym. And I don't even know if they still do those, but the entire student body's there. So the gym is packed. Coincidentally, ironically, whatever goes in this space right here, we're playing Bartow to get the connection right here. We're actually playing Bartow. And so...
What year is this?
This is in Winter Haven. We say it again.
What year is this?
This is 98, maybe.
Okay, that's a good year.
Maybe 98. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing Bartow. Mm-hmm. We're probably 3 or 4 minutes in. I've got a couple assists. We're rolling. I remember shot goes up. It comes off the back iron. I go up to rebound it, and nobody bumps me. Nobody's around me. I secure the rebound, and I come down just on one leg. I come down on my right leg. Okay. I hear something pop.
Ooh.
I'm like, okay. My off guard says outlet. I kick him the pass, and I try to run up the floor, and my leg gives out.
Wow.
So that's the avalanche. That's the start of the avalanche. So end up having it scoped. Had a 60% tear in my ACL. So this is the start of my sophomore year, much like you. So I missed all of my sophomore year. Yeah. Rehab. I'm in tryouts or practice leading up into junior year, and re-aggravate the same knee. This time, complete tear. So now I lose all of my junior year. Rehab, come back. I'm able to play my senior year. And as it would have it, the last game during districts, playing re-aggravated again. I mean, re-aggravated where I feel the knee and the leg shift. And so I literally limped into college, just emotionally, mentally, and physically, from my sophomore year. And I listening to you again, same kind of story, just never hadn't figured out how do I translate my passion through my playing, through just excelling that life. And that's what we begun to craft in the project, because I was a basketball player. That's what I knew since 9 years old. I was Little Penny, or I'm that's who I am to my friends and my teammates and coaches, and so I saw myself through this lens of just a basketball player. Much like you, had decent grades. I was blessed. Those parents that I spoke of, my sister, man, I was blessed to get into school on a Florida Bright Future Scholarship. But I also remember,
thank God for that.
yeah, but I remember it being very lackluster at the time, because for me, I was supposed to be playing basketball. I was supposed to be playing at this high level, couple years in college, and then now I'm on to the NBA. And so when life didn't present that for me, things seemed to be less than.
Do you remember your mind frame? Like I know it was a big disappointment, and it was a huge turn in your journey of what it was that Brandon was going to be. I'm not sure if you saw these comments on there, but Alicia, thank you for tuning in again, Alicia. Alicia says that she met you at Lake Region speaking to the students, that you are good people. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
But I can imagine it could just feel like the rug is, I don't even have to imagine, because I knew. And at this time for me, college would have been the farthest at that time that I could have gone, because I don't even think they had the WNBA at that time. And if they did, they had just started it. But no, they didn't. They didn't have a WNBA at that particular time. And I just know that it wasn't, that wasn't a goal for mine. It wasn't something like I was thinking about playing overseas. I just truly, just passionately loved the game. But I can imagine for you that felt like, the rug was pulled from underneath you. And did you go back to like childhood? Well, what is it that I want to be? Because a lot of people who don't make it in sports, they either coach it or they go into things like wanted to do physical therapy with the team. Because I talk to a football team every summer in Mississippi. Like I talk to them about being student athletes, and I'll ask them what do they want to do beyond the field. And a lot of them still revert back to careers that have something to do with sports, sports analysts, being a physical therapist, etc. What was that for you when you think back? What did you?
I didn't have one.
How I want to.
I didn't have one. So again, when we crafting the project was because there was no true other plan.
Yeah.
There was no investment in who I am.
Yeah.
What do I like?
Yeah.
What do I enjoy doing? And more importantly, why do I enjoy doing it? And so crafting the project was the therapy, and was more or less the explanation for me to better understand that for myself, and then to be able to mentor other young people. So the idea is that I could fully express myself creatively, autonomously, in an autonomy standpoint, just comprehensively when I played. Okay, I can go right, I can go left, I can shoot, I can dribble, I can assist, I can rebound, I can do all these things that makes everyone around me better and
foresee the future, because you can anticipate the play. you know the guys.
All those things. And then now I'm learning, you're learning defenses, you're learning offenses, you're learning how to merge those things, how to transition into those things, how to read mismatches. You're doing all these things instantaneously.
Yes.
And so overall, you feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
Okay. And especially when you win and you're helping your team win and this camaraderie happens, you feel utterly fulfilled.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're running that thing, so yeah, you have to. Yeah.
So imagine now not being able to express yourself that way,
Yeah.
or paint, as an artist, or create that way. I
Right.
can't create these
Right.
things that way. So now I have to find out. You do that through education.
Yeah.
You do that through Jazzie Conversations.
Yes.
You help people understand things and connect their whys, and understand why, and how and where, and all these wonderful. Well, you're doing that as you through
Yeah.
these conversations.
Absolutely.
And it was learning that for myself. How do I do that? But I had no plans. I didn't know where else that existed. And I've run into that on my journey countless times.
Yeah.
From being at FSU in Tallahassee, to as far as Barcelona, Spain, back to the States. And so oftentimes you haven't thought about it. You haven't spent enough time with yourself to know, one, who you are,
Right.
to understand why you enjoy whatever it is you enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about Barcelona. Why were you in Barcelona? Actually, Jason Alexander just checked in.
Hey,
Hey.
my guy, man.
So how did we get to, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So
You were about to say something. Were you about to say something?
Yeah. I had a cousin that was playing overseas, and so got a chance to really go and immerse myself there for about a week or so, and just again seeing life abroad. Yes, it was through the sport, but recognizing that it was more than that, man. Like you truly get a chance to learn and grow through other cultures and experiences and people. And so basketball, like anything else in life, is just a vehicle. It's just a catalyst to help others in the rest of the world. So those experiences help me as far as crafting and understanding. I mean, my impact really is very minimal between the 100 feet of hardwood. Like it's just, that's just one landing spot of it, man. It's global and cerebral. By having certain fundamentals and pillars, right? And so rich from our idea and from our mission and from our design stands for resourceful, inspired, courageous, and hopeful. Okay, so we instill those 4 core values through our programming, through our curriculum, through our events, through our mentoring. And so helping more young people understand that, yes, I get that all the time. Hey, Mr. B Rich, are you really rich?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Most importantly, though, why am I rich? Are because of these 4 values, man. And if you work with us, you allow us to work with you, we want to help you understand how you're rich, and how you will find that same blue lagoon and the same, just the epitome of what you want life to be through your passion.
How do you teach that to kids? Because these kids, they need something tangible, like something immediate, right? So when you speak in theory to the kids about, this is also how you are rich, aside from seeing your favorite NBA player, NFL player come back to the community and they have their watch that they want, they are able to buy out the mall, they're able to have sections at a club, or they're able to walk down the street and people just see them as a superstar because they have this great talent on or in their sport. And then also what they look rich. So when you are teaching this mantra in theory and trying to put it into practice, what's your sweet spot for that? How do you connect it with them?
Being practical. So like, Jazz, tell me this. I know the answer. What's your favorite thing to do? What would you do in just, what's your favorite thing to do?
Woo! I have 2 of them.
Okay.
I actually have 3 of them, if I can say it. And so because I ask that question of myself a lot, that's why I always go with who I am. I literally am a mother, I'm an educational leader, and I am a host. And I'm going a long way to answer your question, but I just want to give like a little bit of background to that, because I was always always trying to be put into the box of whether I was in the media space. Actually, it didn't occur when I was in the media space. It occurred when I was in the education space. You know, people would always ask me, like, Jazz, you're continuing to climb this ladder in education, but what do you want to do? You need to choose one. Are you going to do education, or are you going to host events? And I'm like, I'm going to do it all. That's who I am. Like, you cannot take either thing away from me, because those are the things that make me who I am. I am a mother first, I'm an educational leader, and I am a dope host. So that's who I am. So if I had to choose something to do that I didn't get paid for, I'm gonna tell you right now, the number one thing I'm gonna choose to not get paid for is hosting.
And I knew the answer to that. I knew that. Okay,
You're gonna have to pay me to educate. I'm just playing.
Tell me this. Why? Why?
Okay, ask me, what was that? You're asking me, why would you have to pay me to educate?
Yeah, like why would you be a host? So I'm asking, why would you be a host?
Why would I be a host?
Yeah.
It is just something, it's environmental. It's what I was around. I knew that I wanted to be a host, and I tell this story. And actually it goes back even further to the first story that I told. The reason why I wanted to be a host, and if Mr. Leo Longworth is watching this, then he would probably want to pop his collar a little bit. But there was a pageant in Bartow, and they're bringing it back this year. And I want to be the host of that. Like I'm saying it openly now on my podcast. But it was called Miss Bronze Bartow, right? And I remember, I have older sisters, they were in high school, and I remember being a part of my sister's skit when it came to the talent portion, because she did a talent in terms of being an actress. And I just remember hearing his voice. And I was like, I paid attention to him. It was his presence on stage. He had on this suit. I remember the music. I remember how people responded to him. I can still hear their laughter. I can still hear and see how he held the microphone, how he engaged with the audience. But then ultimately, the most impressionable moment of why I wanted to be a host is because when the Ebony Fashion Fair used to come to Polk County, they were brought here on behalf of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, right? Mm-hmm. And Shayla Simpson was the MC. And she just reminded me of one of those beautiful women off of Coming to America. Like at the ending scene, like when they're married and they're waving goodbye. It was one person that was standing by James Amos. And Shayla Simpson always reminded me of this lady. Like, I really thought they were the same person when I was little. I'm like 8 at this time, right? And I'm thinking that, oh my gosh, the lady from Coming to America is right here. It's right here. And so I remember they used to bring the Ebony Fashion Fair to Florida Southern, right? In one of the Frank Lloyd Wright buildings. And so I remember these were fashions that were coming from Paris. They were coming out of Essence magazine. This woman was so beautiful. And I just remember her orating the entire scene. And I never saw her look at her cue cards. Like, she had them, but she traveled with that show, and she was so professional. And I paid attention to her voice, and it was just like tunnel vision. It's like everything just came just like this. And it was just like, I am focused in, and that was it. I was just bit by it. Like, yeah, we'll say me saying my Easter speech was the first time I had my microphone, but that was it. And everybody told me, you're going to do something with the microphone, because I love to be on the microphone. But that moment at the Essence sponsored Ebony Fashion Fair, and I'm saying Essence, let me completely correct myself. It was Ebony magazine, not Essence, but Ebony magazine, the Ebony Fashion Fair, Shayla Simpson. That was it for me. And of course, Miss Bronze. So that's why. So you hear how I'm going long with it, and I can remember this. I'm like, I'm 8. So I'm passionate about it. Like, I remember how I felt about it.
Wait, and to make it, how old were you?
I was 8.
So imagine, all right, and they've done these studies that certain spaces in your life, you're very impressionable.
Yeah.
They happen to you and they stick with you.
Yes.
Okay. So you ask how, without giving away my secret sauce, I have a conversation.
Yes.
Okay. And oftentimes there are going to be these moments, and that we can build from those moments. I'll tie this in. So Mr. Leo Longworth, he is a longtime friend, frat brother of my dad's. He's a frat brother of myself. Yeah. He took me to my first Magic game. And so I'm probably about I guess 9 or 10, around that same kind of impressionable range. And I remember going to this Magic game with my dad and Mr. Leo.
Oh my
And
gosh.
there
How are
were
our stories like linking?
yeah,
With people, what the
yeah,
heck?
yeah. So you just never know, right? We said this from the top of the hour. You just never know. But those things stick with you.
Yeah, they do.
And so you're able to identify your why.
Yeah.
So we work on identifying why, not what you will do with the achievements, or the things that come to you because of what you're good at or what you enjoy. We're talking about why do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
And that takes a little time, a little affection, a little patience to work through certain things to find that out. And so at the project, man, we're not in a hurry. We're here to play the long game, because we truly believe in you long term, as far as who you are, not just what you might be doing at a particular moment in your life.
So what do you say to the kids that just will not give up? Because I'm like my son London, who's he's still in his basketball season. It's like, Lord, when is it going to be over? Like, I know I said I love basketball, but good. I feel like this boy has been playing for a whole year. But I'm glad he's getting this experience. But he is just thank you for that, Cowboy. I couldn't let that comment slide. I appreciate you. Really, really love that.
And I agree. He says you're a dope host, right?
Yes. Yes.
Most definitely. Yeah.
I wanted you to see this comment too before I go into the story about London. Cowboy also states, Cowboy is my classmate. We graduated in 98 together, played football for Bartow. He says, I salute that brother for getting through that who am I phase of life to get to the point of helping others. That's a hard part of life where most get lost. So he's commending you on that.
Big shout, Cowboy. And I think, again, that I recognize that there were so many, and there are so many individuals, great individuals, who are trying to work through that phase.
Yeah, it is tough.
It's a daily journey for me as well. I still love the game. If you can see the highlights in my head,
you can tell from your pages that you still love the game.
Man, if you can see it, man, and as you said, as the older you get, you start to see how to do things better, within whatever it is you love, and you have a deeper appreciation for it. Okay, but I think that, again, I realized sooner than later that I wanted to be able to help as many people work through that phase, and say, man, look, you already have the ability to be uber successful, ultra successful in a number of different fields, not just the playing field. Right? That may not even be the best field that you were designed to play on. And how often has that happened? You realize, man, like, okay, you were great. You were great at playing basketball. You were superb at running the business, or you were just an elite, individual at helping in the medical field, just whatever it might be for you.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to clip your wings and hamper yourself. God has blessed you with so many different talents.
Yeah.
And the sport or doing that one thing is only one of them. He's giving you some that you maybe haven't even unearthed yet.
Yes.
Right? You got to be open to digging, a gold digger. You got to be open to digging a little deeper beneath the surface. And just not just being identified with what you think everyone sees you at.
Yeah. And so this conversation, so Edwina has checked in. She said, bring him to the event on 8/12. I think you're asking me to bring London to the event on 8/12. If not, then correct me, but definitely. And we're going to definitely
we have an event. And big shout. Right now I'm gonna plug it in. Boss Fest, Edwina, I call him Arkansas. Maybe y'all call him Kevin. That's my dog. You feel me? But they have been a tremendous consultant to me. The last 6 months and moving forward, and as far as really helping me catapult the project full steam ahead. And so I want to thank them audibly, visually, just on this platform, open publicly, for all that they've done prior to, as far as them building their brand, and then them seeing the need to help others build theirs. And so they have certainly been a catapult for me. And yes, they've helped me design. So August 2nd, we'll be celebrating 15 years. Be Rich Project has been in existence for 15 years. So we have a nice event laid out at the Advent Field House. And we certainly, yes, bring London. We want to bring any young person that you know loves sports. Bring them. We've got a number of different workshops, engagement workshops, some tournament play, some player evaluations, some things for parents. It's going to be the place to be.
Absolutely, definitely. So listen, and then you correct me or maybe add in some advice. So, when I used to hear people tell me, and this didn't happen until like my adult career, like, no, it did not. It happened. Actually, I can always pinpoint this when I'm always having this conversation. I remember it vividly. I remember it vividly happening in church. We were tasked when I was in high school. We were tasked to come dressed in the college that we wanted to attend, and we were going to be interviewed by adults. We had to tell the adults what we wanted to be when we grew up.
Wow.
That's like the number one thing that adults talk to you about, right? And so I came dressed in my Howard shirt, though I am a bona fide rattler. And I know everybody knows how I got to FAMU. But before that, I wanted to go to Howard, right? And so I was interviewed. And when it was my turn to interview, they asked me what I wanted to be. And I said I wanted to be a host. I wanted to be an obstetrician. And I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I wanted to be an architect. I didn't say obstetrician because I had already X'd that out. But I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be a host. And I wanted to be an architect, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and honestly, when it came down to it, when I graduated from high school, where I went determined that I wasn't going to be an architect anymore. I was going to focus in on journalism because I had gotten all of these scholarships for journalism. So you have to listen to what your heart says and then what people are seeing in you, right? If I would have went to the University of Florida, it would have been architecture because I really wanted to go into their architecture program. But anyways, that's a whole other story. But this person at church was like, well, you can't beat all of that. You can't do all of that. You got to focus on one thing. I will never forget this. And he was an educator. He was an educator.
Right.
I almost gave it away. I probably did just give it away. People pay attention. But anyways, and he broke my heart. Like, he broke my heart. Like, he hurt my feelings is what he did. He didn't break my heart. He hurt my feelings so bad. But I remember trying to be respectful to him. But in my brain, I was thinking, sir, you don't tell me what to do. Like, I promise I was being so disrespectful in my head. I was like, you don't tell me what to do. Like, in my head, it was just like, and I had to swallow it.
Right.
I was like, you don't tell me what to do. You're supposed to tell a kid that they can do anything they want to do. But, as an adult, our brain sometimes forms and it's just like, no, reality is reality. You got to choose something and you got to stick with it. And I'm so glad that the new millennials, and we are a part of the millennials, the Gen X's and all of that. I'm so glad they don't stop at just one thing. I'm so glad that at least COVID taught us that you got to think about what else can you do because the world has stopped. Now dig back deep into that kid. What is it that you really wanted to do? Or how can you make some money for your family? And you may find a passion for that. So I go through that experience. And when I hear my son, London, all he talks about is basketball. Mm-hmm. He's tearing up my house right now because he has a goal on every door in the house. He is dribbling the ball all over the house. He is just, my gosh. And so when he says what he wants to be, I listen. I don't deter him. But what I tell him is, London, you have a great voice and you need to tap into that. What if you're going to learn an instrument? Like he's been humming since he was a baby, like no lie. Like if he ever goes into that career, he is going to have an amazing story because it is just like almost like just God is telling you, boy, you need to sing, but that's neither here nor there. I'll let him figure that out in life.
Right.
And I'm like, and you're a great artist. And I'm like, but he always goes back to, I want to be in the NBA. And you know how you have those first day of school plaques every year? And he's about to be 12. He has put an NBA player. every year since kindergarten, right? Which,
Right.
like, a lot of kids do. And so when I hear people talk to him and I hear them ask him, what do you want to be? Even my oldest son, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Because that's the only question they seem to put a lot of emphasis on, which I don't like a lot. He'll say an NBA player, and they'll immediately crush his dreams. And I don't like that.
Right.
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 That's why I had to listen like very carefully and like read what your program is about, because I didn't want to be on, like, I didn't want to be adversarial to it, because I'm not about crushing kids' dreams, but I am about being realistic. And so what I told him, I said, this is what I want your rebuttal to be. Anytime somebody does that to you, say respectfully, right now, my number one is to be an NBA player, and I'm going to put all my might into that. Now, I can possibly think of some other things, but right now, it's an NBA player. And I told him, if
Right.
you say that, then you got to do it. Like, if you say that that's what you want to do, and I know you can still hear me, Brandon, so I'm going to keep talking. So I said, if that's what you want to do, then what do NBA players do? Like, they put in that work. So you can't be lazy around the house. What do? They get off the bench. Once you get in the game, you have to pop out. You got to pop off. You got to show them what you can do, why you should stay in the game. It's mental. So I'm never like in the business of crushing the dreams of the youth at all. So it's like any adult that's listening, when you hear a child tell you what they want to do not crush their dreams. Say, you definitely can do that if you put in the work. But this is what the work looks like. And I want you to keep telling me, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. Give them the statistics. If they want to be an NFL player, don't hide anything from them. Give them the real life statistics. Are you in the top 5% of whatever? Because that's the percentage that is going to make it to the league. But you can't tell these kids that that's not what they can do when they see people from their neighborhood that become that. What they need to do is reverse engineer it and say, okay, at this age, this person was doing yada, yada, yada. At this age, you got to be dedicated to doing yada, yada, yada. And put those real life experiences in front of them, because injuries are prevalent. That's going to happen. So yes, they do need something to fall back on. And then yes, they need resources like the Be Rich Project Inc. to guide them along the way. And that same tenacity, that same grit, that same passion that is put into building athletes in our society, like what Be Rich is doing, is he's putting that same passion into a program that lets these kids get to what their passion and what their purpose is. So I love what you are doing. I see Sarita, she said, thank you for inspiring our seniors at PBS for the last 2 years at Commitment Day. So so at Florida Virtual School, you were there?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So my friend Sarita, she was the assistant principal there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay, B. You've been all around the county.
Listen, we certainly have had a chance to work with great individuals, and blessed to be at a space to try to do it at a greater impact this year. And so, so
50
thankful.
years. That's a long time.
Yeah. I think that we wanted to crawl, and be consistent.
Yeah.
And build the rapport and build the track record. And so we're able, and we're in a position now to do more. And so that's what I'm really excited about, is us getting a chance to do more.
So why nonprofit? That's what I've been asking the guests that have come on for the month of July. Why nonprofit versus a for-profit organization?
Well, without getting too deep with the whole business structure of sorts, I think that the idea was for something that could be charitable,
Mm-hmm.
and it have the framework to do so. And so we chose nonprofit. You understand, the business world understands that you need funding. You're going to need, that's the lifeblood of any entity. You're going to need funding. You're going to need capital to pass through there. And so, again, our goal this year in November, we're looking to launch our major fundraiser for the organization. But you asked why, from the charitable standpoint, I think that at the heart of who I am, the value isn't so much in dollars. The value is in who you are as a person.
Right.
And so, it's not so much about turning a profit as much as it is helping a person. Let me help an individual. And so that's why we did nonprofit.
And then can I also just share with you, because I hear that, and when that is put to the test, beautiful things happen with that, because you're not the first person that has told me that. And I was just trying to wrap my brain around not even the logic behind it, because the logic is there, but just like putting, I just wanted to see it. I wanted to see it work. And being in the position that I'm in educationally, I get to see that because we have several nonprofits that work with us in my programming in terms of our enrichments. And I've seen how we have started off with a partnership, with them, and just seeing how minimal to no dollars are being funneled through to them. But then to see how that partnership it blossoms, because if both entities are doing what both entities are stating that they're going to do for one another as a true partnership, I have seen it blossom. Like, I've seen so many opportunities open up for our kids, and then in turn I've seen how a lot of opportunities have come into the space of a nonprofit, and whether it's with the organization that I'm with, or if it's through me being at this organization, and if they have branched off to other people who are watching what they're doing with this organization, with my school, and they are booking them outwardly. And so I still see it as a win, and I do see it as a funnel. Even if it happened through me, I love it when it happens through my school. But if it happens through me because I know this person and I'm pitching this person or whatever, that's a true partnership. So when you say just having a heart for it and the charity side of it, that is so true. And I feel like investing time into kids, because it sounds cliche, but they really are our future. Like, they truly are. And I say this all the time. There is going to be a student that's going to come back and just make me a millionaire. I just always feel that. Like, I have a student right now that I made, she made such an impact on me because she made me go harder as a teacher. How can you get a student who almost has a perfect score on a state test, and you are being judged off of your learning gains? Like, that girl made me work, because I was like, she is not going to leave my classroom without having a learning gain. And that girl almost got a perfect score in my classroom. And I've just, since fourth grade, and I've kept tabs on her, and she's now one of the athletic directors at FAMU. So I'm just like, I'm like, these kids, like, when I see stories and I hear stories like that, that's what pays me. That's how I get paid. And I know people are like, that's not money, but it feels so gratifying. And you just know you'll have someone that will always look out for you. All those kids, all those boys, those girls the lives that you are touching, even through sports, that's paramount. Like, they're never going to forget you investing that time. I want you to go very deep, go very in on promoting the event that you have on August 2nd. But I want to give the audience more of your program, because I feel like a lot of people need to know the ins and outs of it, because we haven't discussed, okay, we know what your premise is, but how do you make it come to life? Like, do people come to you? Do you come to people? What's the age range? And then do me a favor, before you go there, you said that in your bio you are the co-founder. So who's the other founder?
So you, like, like that. This is something that's designed to be a collaboration.
Gotcha.
All right. So we can't do this without each other.
Right.
All right. We can't do it without each other. And so me recognizing that is important. It was important for me. And I recognize that it's not just going to be me that's going to help, that's going to get some things done. It's not going to be just me that can help and make the impact that I'm looking to do. So you're going to have a team. You're going to have people around you that are willing to help, you know. So you segued into our why, you know, and how we do what we're doing.
Yes.
And do I come to them? Do they come to me? We're able to do both. So we love to work inside of programs that exist. So if there's sports teams or organizations where you're already practicing, you know, you've got teams and you've got practice times, and so we can come in and we can build around what you have to really refortify those spaces of practice that are non-athletic. And so what I recognized was that oftentimes you do have coaches who have had their own journey and they've played as long as they can play, and now they're coaching.
Right.
And so they're giving those spiels of, hey man, the ball's gonna start bouncing, or I mean you're not always gonna be able to run this 100-yard field, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you only got so much time in a day. You only have so much time to practice and to go through plays and play your games. And so finding that time to refortify, what else are we going to do?
Yeah.
These life skills that we are teaching you, where do we get that practice in? And so that's where we love to position ourselves. It's not to come in to take the attention or take away from what a good coach or a good program has already established. We're there to refortify it and expand that scope of knowledge and understanding for the players who are involved.
Yeah.
So we can come right in, come to you, or we also create our own activity. So like August 2nd. So we have kind of some trademark events that we've created.
Yeah.
Workshops, they're interactive experiences. They give that young person a true feel of what it feels like to be a professional. And this time, though, you're not using your athleticism. You've got to use your personality.
Yeah.
You got to use your presentation. You know, you got to use who you are, because that's ultimately what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. So we simulate these workshops, we simulate these experiences that maybe they're on a podcast, maybe they're on Jazzie Conversations with Jazz.
Yeah.
You want this NIL or this endorsement contract, well, you got to be able to talk to Nike or Adidas or whoever it is.
Right.
And we're going to practice those things. Okay. We're going to have some cameras present. You know, we're going to have a media gallery present. We do different things along those lines. And then once you make all this money, so there's nothing wrong with being prosperous. You make sure that you have the money and the money doesn't have you. So being industrious and being successful, that's a wonderful thing. Well, we talk about that. All right, now that you've got the money,
yeah,
okay, you got this thing that you've been working so hard to obtain. How do you manage it in a smart manner?
Yeah.
You know, how do you not have it and it use you to the point where you are emotionally, spiritually, financially broke? And so we just put them through different scenarios. Hey, let's go through this idea. Let's go through this scenario, and what's the play? That's one of our coin phrases. When you play basketball, you see oftentimes at the college level, at each dead ball, the teams huddle up. So in those huddles, they're, hey man, you need help? I got you. You got me. Let's screen. Let's back this pick. Let's do this. Okay, let's box out. 1, 2, 3, break. Okay. Same way on the football field. After each down, they huddle. Okay, what's the play? Okay, 1, 2, 3, break.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a coin phrase of ours. Hey, what's the play?
Listen, I love it.
Situation.
I was just about to say that needs to be something. That needs to be a. So you already have it. You're using it in the way that I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So asking my son, hey, what's the play?
What's the play? Right? You're at the young level, or at a number of levels, the point guards coming down the floor, and sometimes I'm sure you're that parent / player. What's the play?
Exactly.
Like, what we running? Right? What are we in? What's the play?
I'm the parent that's like, we ain't even called nothing. Y'all ain't calling
nothing.
What's the play? Right. So those are things that we incorporate in what we do very organically.
Yeah.
And it allows for a seamless, integration with conversations and
Good.
just ability to talk and make a connection, and we do it
So
like
what
that.
ages is it is for every student, or do you have a um age range that you're looking for with August 2nd?
We're not turning away any young person who would be interested in participating.
Yeah.
Our sweet spot are middle school to high school students. Obviously, at that stage, middle school, you've got this formulated idea about who you are, and you're really
Yeah.
starting to ramp up into what you want to do. And we noticed that as a middle schooler, you better understanding how academically, how behaviorally, how those aspects truly impact your start as a high schooler.
Right.
And then
Right.
ultimately, let's say you do get to high school and you continue to excel, those individuals who want to come back and invest in you, meaning those college, recruiters and universities or companies, they're going to ask people who you are. They want to know who's Jazz, who
Right.
is she as a person,
Right.
who is she when she's not on the playing field,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where you're going to make the most money. That's where you're going to make the most impact. And so people don't know who you are. So they check that MTSS report, and they check certain things. Say, man, we on a tier
Mm-hmm.
2, 3. We okay. Well, we didn't know that. We
Yeah.
pretty good player, but we didn't know that there's some off the court or off the field challenges that we want to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it countless times that your image, and the way you
Yeah.
conduct yourself totally impacts the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so and so slated to go here in the draft or had an endorsement deal, and man, you can't keep your hands to yourself. And so now, that it's going to cost you. It's
Yeah.
going to cost you personally, and it's going to cost you professionally. So our big thing is addressing those areas. And so
Mm-hmm.
we really like the middle school, high school range.
Gotcha.
Yet we would not turn away. I mean, if you got some grade schoolers that are passionate and want, and you see the need, we certainly want to be there to help.
Cool. Cool. So is there a cost, the location, all of that good stuff?
So August 2nd, we're at the Advent Health Fieldhouse and Conference Center in Winter Haven, Florida. Beautiful facility. Um, you're there every day, right? You guys are playing.
$20 a pop every day.
I had to remind you. I had to remind you so I could see you smile.
Like,
Remind you.
yes.
That's our plug. But we'll be there. We'll be there. $15 though, like for individual players. So you can register on our site. You can register as an individual, and that will get you entry and register for the workshops. We got 3 major workshops. One's an NCAA registration workshop. And I want to say big shout to Miss B out at Lake Region. We have a number of school counselors who are going to help us register 100 student athletes. That's our goal for the weekend, is for them to log on, better understand the process, and then actually register for that NCAA eligibility center. That's a big space that many student athletes aren't aware of or don't fully understand the importance of. And so that'll be one of our workshops. The next one will be an NIL workshop. Okay. And then we'll really just do what we're doing right here. How do we maximize our image? And then lastly, a money management workshop. So $15 gets you into those workshops. It also will get you an evaluation. So this weekend is a little different because we're bringing back those who have done it at a very high level or the highest level. So we've invited back alumni, Amber Smith from Winter Haven High School, Kevin Capers, Marcus Capers from the Winter Haven area.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine, Keith Jennings. Keith, Mr. Jennings, former NBA ball player, will be in the building. And the goal is to give the basketball players a true evaluation of where their skill level is. On the back half of that, there'll be a Legends game. So they will play against some of those legendary guys once we go through the skill gauntlet, we're going to see how you fare when we get up and down. You know, so that's the look of it. And we also have a football element as well. So same kind of deal. We're in conversations now about a local field. Looking at Winter Haven area, Winter Haven, maybe Lake Region. I'll confirm that for you prior to that date and time. But there'll be a space where football players can go in and do their thing athletically after they've gone through the workshop. So, man, it's called Legends Weekend. It's Legends Weekend because some play, others leave a legacy. Your legacy can start with us August 2nd. We want to help you be more than just an athlete.
Listen, I absolutely love this idea. And this is your first time doing it, or?
Well, at this level, so we've stair stepped to this. I've tried this out, or not tried, but I've done this a few years back. It's been about 2 years since I've done it, and so we know the model is effective. We know the model is something that there's a need for it, and so thankfully, platforms like this can help us get the word out and get more numbers and to help more of those we like to work with.
Because I want to, like, I see this growing so exponentially in terms of course, the numbers that you're going to get, but also the numbers of people who are going to want to give back to it and facilitate. And so, like, I'm looking at, in my brain is working like this. So on one end, I'm looking at all of the info sessions and the skill work that you're giving, in terms of athletics, what they're going to be able to look forward to, what they need to be preparing for. But then I'm looking at also that component of, you get you some educational gurus tapped into there as well to talk about test scores, how to get your test scores up, how to get into college. Like, you really can have a well-rounded, even more so, of a buy-in of the whole
process. Can you make it?
Listen, I'm coming. I'm there.
Well, if you there, I'm there. Yeah, if you there, I'm definitely gonna be there now.
We have so many. Look, everybody better be there because I'm gonna be promoting it for you too. We have so many talented people in Polk County. Like, before even coming onto this podcast, I was looking at, and I haven't looked at his stuff in so long, but even looking at Tony Gadsden's stuff. And I'm just like, this dude is right here from Polk County, right here from Winter Haven, right? Yeah. And so I'm just like, he has close to 1 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
3 million followers, like, all over social media. And I'm just like, the power that he has to just bring someone in to someone like you who's doing great things, the network that we tap into, regardless of how far outside of Polk County one has gone. Thinking about people even in the Bartow area, we have 2 NBA players like back to back that just popped off.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think the Utah Jazz just likes Bartow anyway. But hey, who am I to say? But I'm just looking at this, like, I feel like Polk County is becoming the epicenter. If it has not always been, like, boxing, like Winter Haven has boxing, like, we have so many different, gurus. And then
shout out Tiger's World. Yeah, I was there this morning. Shout out Edson and Tiger's World.
Yeah, like, he used to be at our school. Like, I love them. They are amazing. Yeah. But then I look at people who really have a real life story of what you are even saying, and that's with Mr. George Tinsley. Like, the things that he does, like, coming from that athlete to being a prolific philanthropist. Like, our kids need to see people like that. They're living and breathing, and they're living beyond the court, but exactly. He can go back and be respected at any time to go back and talk about, what he's doing, Mr. Birdsong, like all of these people that, have just done their thing, just in the arena of sports. And so definitely, if you can see how I'm kind of talking, my brain is just like, I'm on all of these. I'm in all these areas because you have something.
Those individuals have played a portion and contributed. Mr. George Tinsley, Mr. T, as I love, has been involved with the project, has been involved with one of these types of events. He's come and he's spoken and I used to love his Blue Rolls Royce And so he drove that up there, for inspiration, but more about his story, okay, and more
story.
about who he is as a person,
Yeah.
and what he represents from a character value, standpoint. Benny Robles Sr., Benny Robles Jr. So my time at Bartow Ford, these gentlemen definitely, without a doubt, have
Yeah.
been some of my
Yeah.
biggest sponsors and supporters, and mentors over this span of time. But they've been involved with the weekend, with this type of event. Tony Gaskins had a chance. Funny, so Tony Gaskins and Andre Berto, we're both out of the same potting soil right there at the Boys and Girls Club, the Citrus Center Boys and Girls Club. Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, like that's where a lot of all this starts, is learning how to mix it up, learning how to survive in the controlled chaos that goes on there, and you learn how to find out who you are. And so, as you mentioned, that it's no wonder how these young men, these gentlemen, have elevated themselves in their particular fields and are helping others, through their platform. And so, yes, those are the kinds of examples that we're going to point towards and encourage, because there's more of that here. As you pointed out, man, it's such a there's an acres of diamonds here, right here in Polk County. No, we're not perfect, but no, there's no place that is. That's why you go to church on Sundays.
Absolutely.
Like right here in Polk County, man, there's such great people.
Yeah.
That are looking for an opportunity to be at their best. And so, man, that's what we want to do through the project. We want to make sure that you're at your best.
Absolutely. So tell me the meaning behind the Be Rich project. Give me the acronym again, because you can be rich in more than just sports. You can get rich from other things other than sports.
Exactly. So being resourceful, all right, being inspired, being courageous, and being hopeful. Okay, so you yourself can be that, and the goal is to help someone else do that. Like that's the whole idea of it. That's how we all stay rich, man. If I'm sharing my resources with you, I'm sharing my inspiration with you. I'm giving you confidence for life, and I'm there for you. And instilling hope in what we have going on. Then yeah, man, we're gonna lift as we climb, and then you're gonna challenge me in the same fashion. So, I birthed this with the birth of my firstborn son. You know what I mean? So I was I was a senior in college, and son was on the way, and recognizing there are no checks coming in from the NBA. So how am I gonna do what I need to do, and then more importantly, how can I help him be the best that he wants to be? Shout out Dex, you know what I mean? And so root to the bruh. So the that's the main thing. Like I wanted to do something, and on that thought process, realize, well, my son's not the only young person in the world that could use a blueprint.
Yeah.
And so we started to scale this thing out. So that's how we get the Be Rich project. And it's more than one way.
So you asked me this question, and just like you, I think I probably know the answer to it. So what would you do? What are you passionate about that you would do, that you would still do if you didn't get paid for it?
I'll do the Be Rich project.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm doing. Like you said, man, it was something that never left me. Yeah. So I think that at some point you pick some things up and you say, well, they run their course. Your fervor for it wanes and it slows down some. With this, it was something that I went to bed with it, and then I woke up with it.
That's the indicator.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, well, if God's placed it on my heart, like it's something that I want to do right by it, and so then I recognize that it moves as I move, and so introspectively, it challenges me each and every day. So I want to be at my best.
Yeah,
I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be the best, Be Rich. I want to be the best Brandon that I can be.
Yeah.
No matter the circumstances, no matter the challenges, and so walking in that purpose, and just living my creed. I want to live my creed. So, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it. And so now,
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
The goal is to do it though do it with other people who are doing it as well. Like I said, now the goal is to be a point guard. All right, so let me start to connect, and let me start to put pieces and people in the right places so that we can ultimately start winning. And so,
by the time you feel that your legacy is still signed and it is there, what would that legacy say? What is your legacy going to be? What do you want your legacy to be?
man, that's a great question. Um, that, as I just mentioned, that he lived his creed. You know, you gotta have ultimately, you gotta have integrity in who you are.
Yeah.
All right, and so um, empathy and integrity are two big values for me. It's like,
Yeah.
who are you when no one's watching?
Absolutely.
Okay, and what are you doing to help somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a firm believer that when you're at your best, when I'm at my best, I put you at your best.
Absolutely.
So now that lays it down for me. Right? So
Absolutely.
now I gotta be at my best. Because how do I ultimately help you? How do I ultimately help you if I'm not at my best? And now your best is different. Okay, your best will be different day to day, and I'm not saying that you know you live life in a vacuum and there's no noise or debris or things that are going to be um,
Mm-hmm.
an uphill climb. I am
Yeah.
saying though that um, are you doing your best? So I want to live my creed.
Yeah.
My creed is to be at the best and to be my best at what I'm doing, um, and that ultimately helps someone else do what they're looking to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. Listen, so I do want to say from the moment that I met you until the time of this interview, like you are definitely a term that I coined as pure dopeness, and that is just you are an exceptional human being. You leave a space better than you found it, and I feel like that is just it. Like that's the feeling that you should get when you come across genuine people who, like you said, who have integrity and they do what they say that they're going to do. The mission is the mission, the vision is the vision, and that is what you are doing. There's no ulterior motive. It is just that is just it. You want to see better for the community that you are serving. And so I really do thank you for this interview. This interview just shows me that life is amazing. Life is funny. Um, Life is definitely worth living, and life will also just give you some like crazy moments because we have shared like so much like interchanging like just stuff that we didn't even know, which is so weird to me. And just like Mocha Glam calls herself the connector, like I've always felt that there has always been a connecting spirit within me because I firmly believe in that 6 degrees of separation. Like it's
Don't
just
say
like you are like 6 hops from whatever it is that you want to do. And I love to
top.
see when people are connected. So look at how the connector has connected us. That's so funny. Started
Yeah.
off with Edwina though and Kevin, which big shout outs to them as we stated before. But yeah, this is you got something here, Brandon. And I hope the community, I know that they are, but I hope that you get the community support that you need. Because I know you're going to change a lot of lives. You're going to bring out the greatness in a lot of scholars. So keep doing what you're doing.
Well, Jazz, I appreciate you, and I want to continue to encourage you. Man, keep.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you. I don't know how much time we have left. If you could share though your foresight, how did you see all of this, meaning Jazzy conversations coming together? How did all that formulate in here, and then you
In my, in my
produce?
brain. Um, so I'm gonna start off with just my journey into journalism at Florida A&M University. Um, I was exposed to so much, and even starting like day one, my freshman year, you know, walking into J school. like going through so many different colloquiums, and just being told, you cannot sit on the sidelines. Like, this is a career where you have to, if you're going to be in it, you got to be in it. So there were sleepless nights that I had in editing bays. There were days, nights in the radio station, like to get on in the radio station. I started having to be at the station at like 4 o'clock in the morning, because I started off in gospel. Like my freshman year, I went out, tried out to be on the radio, and it's like you had to learn the board. And we're talking about, this looks like engineering equipment that people use when when you are like you producing a song. And I'm like, now I love music. That's how I got into wanting to be on the radio. And of course, I love communicating. People have always said they love my voice. And I do. I love to talk. Like, if you and I were to be on the phone, we probably could talk for at least 3 hours and I wouldn't get tired. Like, that's just me. I just like to talk, right? And so, like, this came to be because ultimately I always said I wanted a talk show and I wanted to be on the radio. And so, hosting events, just being in front of the audience, the crowd, that's where I get my joy, because I get that instant gratification, or that instant, I can see how I'm making you feel, and a great host can make someone really be in the moment. Like, they can forget about their troubles. They can forget about, they may have just spent their last $40 to be at this event. They can be swept away into an ambiance of sorts. And so my son, when I had my son in 2008, he has always been a comeback kid. Like, this boy, I feel like he was placed on this earth to teach me that. Like, he would make strides, and then he would kind of plummet in some things. And then he would make strides, and then he would plummet. So he is a walking comeback story.
Right.
And so just seeing him, I always call him my comeback kid. I called my kids who kind of struggled in school as my comeback kids, because I always root for the underdog. That's just me. So when you say you're empathetic, I'm empathetic, and then I'm also an empath too. So it's like I can feel strongly, about things, and typically it's right. And so I'm like, these kids can succeed. Like, you've had these kids in the lowest quartile. You want them to be in the lowest quartile year after year after year. You got to change. You got to focus on them. Right. And so even when I got into educational leadership, even when I was an educator, they were my focus group. It's like, yeah, they are a challenge, but I'm up for a challenge. Like, I'm going to get these kids up to proficiency, because it is about encouraging them, giving them that sense of belief, that belief system. They have to feel it. They have to have that self-efficacy, but you have to build it. You have to teach them how to be confident. You have to teach them. You have to show them. And when I say teach them, that's why we need actual educators in the classroom. You got to know what you're teaching, because then you're not going to be able to prepare them, right?
Right.
So I just saw that they were able to make their comebacks and just how they felt about it. But then life, as an adult, life will take you through some things. And just as an adult, just learning. I was a person that pretty much didn't have any obstacles that I considered that would break me. But boy, did I come to a point in my career where it was like, oh my God, like, I'm here. Like, I heard about this point, but it's like, yeah, I'm going through some stuff that feels like it's going to break me. Like, I bent, but I didn't break. Right. And so I started honing in on what it was that I was going through. And I'm like, I'm going through my own comeback. And it's like, how did I get out of it? I got out of it with definitely leaning on God first, and definitely using my resources. And this is the point that I had to change, because I used to just say, use your resources effectively. But Brandon, you're a resource. If we stop our correspondence at this interview, I would not have used you as a resource effectively. Right? There's so many things that you can help me get to. There's so many things that I can help you get to.
Right.
So what I started realizing is that, dang, like, I'm bringing all these resources to people and they're using it effectively, and I'm not. It's just like, I know all of these people. I know all of these things. Like, literally, if you put me on a board, if you put me in anything, and someone's like, oh man, we need somebody for this, if only we had. And what I started noticing about myself is, like, I always had a person for that. I always had a solution for it. It's like, well, if you do this. So I was like, you know what? you can have the resources, but you got to use those resources effectively. So that's what I started doing, right? And then you have to put in the work. You have to put in the necessary work. That just goes back to biblical principles of faith without works is dead. And so my father's death was one of those things that I had to make a comeback from, because I just went back into thinking about how he scraped literal change to send me to these national journalist conferences. I would meet people like Stuart Scott and all of these people, because he believed in what I wanted to become. And it's like his death just kind of put it in my face. Like I went back to one of your principles when you said, well, what are you passionate about? Because education came easy to me because I was smart. I love kids and I was able to climb the ranks, And so that came easy. What came hard was I had to go back into facing my fears of, you need to chase the same dreams that you keep preaching to these kids to chase. You said you wanted a radio show. You said you wanted to do this. I don't have a big backing. I have friends that work at ESPN. I have friends that work at news shows, and they commend me all the time because they're just like, Jazz, oh my God, like I would be they're telling me they would be afraid to do what I'm doing. I'm like, you guys are backed by major networks. You guys work at Essence. You guys are NPR. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no. Like we couldn't do what you're doing right now, and we commend you. Like you're doing this without like a network backing you. It's just like, and you're consistent with it. So I know that has to be worth something. So his death propelled me to be fearless again. That same fearless girl that was there at FAMU all 4 years, she came back. And so and so I'm here. And I said, once I started, I wasn't stopping. So no obstacle has stopped me. So this is how she was birthed. Well, and she's turning 4 in November.
Your court vision is immaculate. All right. And from one point guard to another, you being able to see what other people may not see. You being able to, as a point guard, we set the table. So you being able to set a platform and put people in position.
Yeah. That is a great analogy. God dang, Brandon.
We work on some things. Yeah, we gonna work on some things. Yeah. From point guard to point guard, right? From point guard to point guard. We can have that kind of conversation.
That's true.
And I want to say with all sincerity, like I want you to continue, like you are doing it. And I had that same realization as the show was counting me in. Yeah. I'm like, I'm for real backstage, so I'm like,
backstage.
I'm backstage, and then, I had like right before you hit the floor, you have the I'm ready butterflies. I'm like, dang, I'm ready. Like I'm ready. And so the starting, the PA announcer comes on and, the crowd and man, we,
Make the play.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm coming out the tunnel. Right, you like for real. Like I felt like I was coming out the tunnel, and so you're doing it. And again, for people individuals who know what that feels like with major backing.
Yeah.
Okay, with unobtainable resources. Like sometimes people can make a call and get things done that the average individual or a different individual doesn't even know who do you call to get that. Yeah. Whatever that is, you're saying, well, I don't even know who I call to get the thing that I don't even know that I'm supposed to have.
Right.
Yet you're doing it. And so the inspiration enrich. You know what I'm saying? The resourcefulness there, the courage and the hope. Yeah. And so you help to reinvigorate me to keep doing what I'm doing.
Please do.
And we do it, we do it together. So I want you to know, man, you keep doing it and the comeback is real, and so I think that the value is in the person. Okay? Yes, and so you're definitely the right person.
Thank you.
So the pay, whatever that's going to look like, in due time, it's going to be there.
Absolutely,
it's going to be there.
Absolutely, and touche, ditto. Listen. For you as well, like you are putting in the work. 15 years of being consistent is to be commended. Like that's a lot of hard work, and hard work too. And so
yeah, I appreciate you.
it's coming. It's well, you're there. You know what I mean? Like you're there. And I appreciate you sharing your vision, with my audience. And I really truly I pray that this just amasses, what you are expecting, you know, um providing the resources, providing a broader audience for you as well, because you are doing work that needs backing as well. Like, it's a community thing. It's an all hands on deck thing, because the outcome of what you're trying to produce and create is valuable, and it's essential. Like, these kids need it. So keep up the good work,
I
the
appreciate
great
it.
work, and be smooth while
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
it.
But so seriously, August 2nd,
Yes,
will you be there?
I'm there.
Bring a
I'm there.
friend, bring a few of your
I'm
friends
there.
and
Yeah.
bring London. Yeah, like, I
Oh,
mean,
he will love to be there. He will love to be there. And you know what? Like, London is like literally my biggest fan, and I know he's gonna see this episode. Like, even if I just send him, he's probably watching it on YouTube right now. And so I
shout
just want
out
to.
London. Shout out.
Yes, listen, I gotta give a shout out to my baby, because my baby has pretty much been a Jalen Hurts, if you will, this
Right.
season, and it has been hurting me to my heart. But like, as a basketball parent, you gotta let them go through their trials, or they're not gonna learn. And so London has it in him, and he has to get over his frustration, because life is not always going to be fair. And he has spent time on that bench that I personally don't feel like he should have been spending. His dad doesn't feel it. Other parents didn't feel it, but I'm not the head of the organization, right? I'm not the coach.
Right.
And so we've been telling him this whole time, when you get in that game, you gotta make it happen. And so it's so much of that you can say to a player if they put them in for a minute and then yank them back out. You
Right.
don't even give him an opportunity to show you what he can do. And today, I was so proud of him. Like, he got in the game, he made his plays, because even sometimes when he does make his plays, they still pull him out. So I'm looking at that, because it's like, you're not talking to somebody who didn't play basketball, who doesn't know anything about basketball. I love basketball, but it's just like, sometimes being a female speaking in a male dominated field, they still treat you as if you're emotionally speaking to them
Mm-hmm.
versus being knowledgeable and speaking
Right.
to them.
Right.
I can show you better than I can tell you. So, but I just I want to just give kudos to him, because he stuck it out, he thugged it out, and he looked phenomenal in the game today. And so you just keep doing what mommy told you to do, and you persevere. Because you're only 11, you have a whole basketball career ahead of you, and then you're probably going to become something phenomenal aside from basketball, or in conjunction to being a basketball player. So I just want to give you your kudos, because you hung in there and you did what you're supposed to do. So
Shout out.
congratulations, London.
Shout out. Man, he got a great example. I mean, between imagine you and his dad, you got great examples, and I think that you are an example of that.
Yeah.
So even if it's just the two of us talking and listening to each other,
Yeah.
Mondays are still Mondays. Okay, there's still going to be a Jazzie conversation. And you
Yes.
prep and you prepare and you perform
Absolutely.
at your best, whether it's just you and I talking, or
Exactly.
it's an entire network of people talking. And so that's what you're teaching him. That
Yes.
my uncle would always tell us, man, everybody gets their turn. You
Yeah.
gonna get your turn.
Yeah.
All right, so you gotta just be ready.
Gotta be ready.
Everybody gets their turn.
Yeah.
So it behooves you to be prepared. Because
Absolutely.
you're gonna get your turn. So
Yeah.
wherever I can pour in a London, man, keep preparing, stay ready. As they say, don't get ready, stay ready.
Absolutely.
But you approach it each and every day, like you love it, and
Yeah.
you remember why you're doing what you're doing, and you get your turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get your
Absolutely.
turn.
Wise words. Wise words. So listen, everybody, make sure you are present on August 2nd at the Advent Health Center in Winter Haven, Florida. It's a Legends weekend. So
Yeah.
we need you there. All high schoolers, all middle schoolers, and they're not going to turn away grade schoolers. either. $15 to get in. You can get your tickets. Brandon, you want to tell them where they can get the tickets? What's the website?
Yes, at our website. So www.the, that's THE, Be Rich Project, BRICHPROJECT.com. Log on, leave me a message. But you can register right then and there. Email, my phone number, all my contact is there on the website if you have any additional questions. Jazz, you're great. You're wonderful. Now Monday is my favorite day. You know, we thought it was Friday or Saturday. No, man, it's Monday.
It's Monday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Monday. It's Monday.
It's a Monday.
Yeah.
It's all right. I've converted you also. I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for spending your time. I know, it's been a time, but this has been such a great episode, and I know it's going to be one that is going to do numbers, and people are going to come back and learn from it. Definitely, I will be sharing it out, and so I definitely need you guys, if you are catching the replay, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, hit replay in the comments. Definitely leave us a review in that comment section. That's how this podcast grows. This podcast grows off of word of mouth as well. You know how powerful word of mouth is. And so your word of mouth is on social media, really first, because that's very easy. All you have to do is just share this episode on your page, and that attracts more and more viewers. And so tag them in the comment section, but definitely make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's at Jazzie Conversations with Jazz. That's JAZZIE Conversations with Jazz on all social media platforms. Make sure you are following Brandon as well. I still left his contact information there. If you're on IG, it's at the Be Rich Project, all one word. If you're on TikTok, it's at the Be Rich Project as well. Support this gentleman who's doing the work for our youth. All right. So we support you, Brandon, here at the Jazzie Conversations with Jazz podcast. You are now officially a part of my Jazzie crew. So thank you for being my guest for episode 159. So Jazzie crew, I will see you back here next Monday for episode 160. Remember, you can come back from anything with God, using the right resources effectively, and your willingness to do the necessary work. I will see you guys back here on Monday. Have a good night. Good night, Brandon.
All right, y'all take care.
Be rich.